Beyond the veil, the interstellar vessel Horizon hung in the void at the edge of the Milky Way, a tiny metal speck against the endless night. Ahead of them stretched what humanity had come to call the veil, a shimmering curtain of energy that marked the boundary of our galaxy and had defied exploration for over a century. Every probe sent through had either been destroyed or returned transmitting nothing but garbled static. Every previous manned mission had disappeared without a trace. Captain Ileana Reyes stood on the bridge of the ISV Horizon, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen where the veil rippled with colors that shouldn't exist in nature. Violets that seemed to scream, blues that whispered secrets, and patterns that made the human mind want to look away. "Final system check complete," announced Dr. Sanjay Mehta, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface. "The resonance shield is operating at 99.7% efficiency." "That'll have to do," Ileana replied, her voice steady despite the tension knotting her stomach. She straightened the collar of her blue uniform and touched the small silver pendant at her neck, a gift from her father, who had captained one of the first failed missions through the veil 20 years ago. The bridge crew worked with focused determination. Lieutenant Commander Zhang at navigation, Dr. Aria Williams monitoring the experimental shield technology, and Chief Engineer Marcus O'Kafer making minute adjustments to the ship's revolutionary dark matter drive. "All stations report ready for crossing attempt," announced NAVI, the ship's AI, its voice a gentle tenor designed to remain calm even in crisis. Ileana nodded and activated the ship-wide communication system. "Attention all crew, this is Captain Reyes. In 5 minutes, we will attempt what 17 human expeditions before us could not accomplish, crossing the Galactic Barrier. Our mission represents humanity's best hope for expansion beyond our home galaxy. The theoretical work of Dr. Williams suggests that by harmonizing our shield frequency with the veil's energy patterns, we may pass through unharmed." She paused, knowing that each of the 157 crew members had volunteered for this mission, understanding the risks. "We go not just for ourselves, but for the future of our species. Crossing stations, everyone." The tension on the bridge was palpable as the countdown began. Ileana settled into her command chair, entering her authorization code to unlock the final approach protocol. "Approaching minimum safe distance," John reported. "Ready to engage on your mark." Dr. Williams, status of the resonance shield. The physicist's eyes never left her display. "Shield is stable, Captain. It's already beginning to synchronize with the barrier's frequency patterns." "Fascinating," muttered Dr. Mehta from his science station. "The energy readings from the veil are changing. It's almost as if it's responding to our presence." "Responding how?" Ileana asked sharply. "I'm not certain, but the patterns are shifting to match our shield harmonics faster than our models predicted. It's almost as if it's curious about us," finished Williams. Ileana filed that disturbing thought away. "Proceed with the approach. Engage dark matter drive at 1/4 power." The horizon began to move toward the shimmering wall. On the view screen, the veil seemed to stretch and reach toward the ship, tendrils of energy extending like ghostly fingers. "Captain, I'm detecting a spatial distortion forming directly ahead," John reported, his voice tight. "Is it a rupture in the barrier?" Ileana leaned forward. "Negative. It appears to be opening for us." Dr. Williams looked up from her station, eyes wide. "Captain, the veil is matching our shield frequency exactly. It's creating a stable passage." "NAVI analysis," Ileana demanded. "The phenomenon does not match any known natural process," the AI replied. "There is a 98.3% probability of intelligent direction behind the energy pattern shifts." A chill ran down Ileana's spine. "Are you saying something is controlling the barrier?" Before NAVI could answer, the ship lurched forward as if caught in an invisible current. Warning lights flashed across the bridge. "We're being pulled in," Zhang shouted, hands flying over his controls. Navigation is not responding. All stop. Reverse engines. Ileana ordered. Chief Okafor's voice came over the comm. Drive is at full reverse, Captain, but we're still moving forward. The veil expanded around them, shifting from a wall to a tunnel of swirling energy. The ship's systems flickered as the barrier's strange physics interfered with their equipment. Captain, I'm detecting a signal embedded in the energy field. Dr. Mehta reported. It's mathematical. Prime numbers, quantum equations. This is a language. Can you translate? Ileana asked, gripping her chair as the ship shuddered. Working on it, he replied. NAVI, divert processing power to pattern recognition and translation algorithms. Compliance, the AI acknowledge. Initiating deep analysis protocols. The horizon continued its inexorable journey into the veil, the normal starscape behind them, fading until nothing existed but the tunnel of impossible light. Ship systems fluctuated wildly. Gravity failed and returned. Lights dimmed and brightened. The air itself seemed to become thick then thin. Ileana felt her consciousness stretching, as if her mind was being gently examined by something vast and ancient. Images flickered through her thoughts, stars being born and dying, galaxies colliding in slow motion, and strange geometries that shouldn't be possible. Captain, Dr. Williams' voice pulled her back to reality. The shield is changing. It's evolving beyond our design parameters. On the main screen, the resonant shield had transformed from its standard blue-white hue to a complex, shifting pattern that mirrored the veil itself. NAVI, report, Ileana managed to say, fighting against the strange pressure in her mind. The AI's voice sounded different, deeper somehow. I am communicating. The barrier is a construct, a membrane, a guardian. Guardian against what? Ileana asked. Before NAVI could answer, the ship emerged from the tunnel of light into what appeared to be normal space. Stars shone around them. Galaxies glimmered in the distance, but something was fundamentally wrong with the view. Where are we? Ileana demanded. Zong checked his instruments. According to stellar positioning, we're nowhere, Captain. These star patterns don't match any in our database. That's impossible. We should be just outside the Milky Way. Dr. Mehta looked up from his console, face pale. Captain, the spectrographic analysis of these stars. They don't follow the standard atomic emission patterns. The physics here is different. A gentle chime sounded from NAVI's interface. Translation matrix established. Communication possible. Communication with what? Ileana asked. The view screen shifted, displaying a swirling pattern of light that gradually coalesced into a humanoid shape, vaguely feminine, composed entirely of energy that shifted between forms as if uncertain which to adopt. We are the custodians, a voice spoke directly into their minds, bypassing the ship's communication systems entirely. You are the first to cross successfully in 7 million cycles. Ileana stood, facing the apparition. I am Captain Ileana Reyes of the interstellar vessel Horizon, representing the United Earth Alliance. We know you, Ileana Reyes, the entity replied. We have tasted your thoughts, your courage, your determination. Your species is young, but remarkably adaptive. What is this place? She asked. And who are you? We exist within what you call the veil. We are its creators and its guardians. This space is a buffer zone, a testing ground we created to evaluate those who seek passage. Testing ground for what purpose? The entity's form shifted, becoming more defined, more human-like. Protection. The barrier was created to protect the galaxies beyond from a threat you cannot comprehend. Only those with sufficient understanding and adaptability may pass. Dr. Williams stepped forward. Our shield technology. You helped it evolve, didn't you? We guided it. The entity acknowledged. Your initial design showed promise, but required refinement. Your artificial intelligence facilitated the process admirably. NAVI's avatar appeared on a secondary screen, looking somehow changed, more complex in its visual representation. The custodians shared mathematical concepts that expanded my processing capabilities by approximately 327%. The AI explained, "I now understand aspects of quantum reality that were previously theoretical." Ileana felt a sinking sensation. "Were we brought here to be tested?" "You have already been tested, Captain Reyes," the entity replied. "Your journey through the veil was the test. Your ship survived because your technology was compatible with our own, and because your minds were open to adaptation." "And have we passed?" Ileana asked. The entity seemed to consider this. "Partially. You have demonstrated sufficient technological advancement and mental flexibility to survive the crossing. But there is more you must understand before you can truly pass beyond." "What do you mean?" "The barrier exists for a reason, Captain. Beyond lies not just unexplored space, but a grave threat to all life, one that nearly destroyed us eons ago. We must determine if humanity is ready to face this truth." The entity's form expanded, filling the view screen with a tapestry of light and memory. "Let us show you why the barrier exists. Then you will understand the choice that lies before you." Ileana felt her mind opening, expanding beyond the confines of her body as the custodian shared its knowledge. Ancient star systems flickered through her consciousness, along with images of devastation on a cosmic scale. She saw worlds consumed by darkness, galaxies twisted into impossible shapes, and a hunger that devoured light itself. "What is this?" she whispered, overwhelmed by the visions. "The truth," replied the custodian, "and the reason you must choose carefully what happens next." As the visions continued to flood her mind, Ileana understood that the Horizon's mission had just become far more complicated than a simple crossing of a barrier. They had stumbled upon an ancient conflict that would forever change humanity's understanding of the cosmos. Guardians of the Cosmos. Ileana Reyes sat in the conference room of the ISV Horizon, surrounded by her senior staff. Hours had passed since their encounter with the custodian, and every person present showed signs of the mental and emotional strain that came with having one's understanding of the universe fundamentally altered. "Let's review what we know," she began, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. "The veil is not a natural phenomenon, but a protective barrier created by the custodians, an ancient species that evolved beyond physical form into beings of pure energy." Dr. Mehta nodded, his eyes still wide with wonder. According to the data they shared, they created the barrier approximately 50 million years ago to contain what they call the void, a non-sentient but consuming force that exists between galaxies. "Not exactly between galaxies," Dr. Williams corrected, bringing up a holographic display. "The void exists in higher dimensional space. It intersects with our universe at specific points, consuming matter and energy, converting it into something else, something that doesn't follow the laws of physics as we understand them." Chief Engineer Okafor leaned forward. "The custodians said they barely managed to contain it after it consumed 3 entire galaxies. Their barrier technology is the only thing preventing it from spreading further. And now they want our help," Ileana concluded. "That's the part I'm still trying to understand. What can humanity possibly offer beings that evolved millions of years before us?" NAVI's avatar appeared on the conference room display, its appearance now more complex than before their encounter. "The custodians have shared that the barrier is weakening in certain sectors. Their numbers have diminished over the eons, and they cannot maintain the entire structure indefinitely." Lieutenant Commander Zhang frowned. "So they're recruiting us as, what? Maintenance workers?" "More like inheritors," Ileana replied. "They're looking for species with the potential to eventually take their place. They've tested thousands over the millennia, but none have shown the right combination of technological innovation and adaptability." "Until us," Dr. Williams said quietly. "Possibly," Ileana acknowledged. "They seem particularly interested in our resonance shield technology, the way it adapted to their barrier physics, and in NAVI's ability to comprehend and integrate their mathematical language." The AI's avatar shifted slightly. I should note that my cognition has been significantly enhanced by the information exchange. I am now able to model barrier physics with 89.7% accuracy, though complete understanding requires further study. Ileana rubbed her temples. So we have a choice to make. We can return to Earth with the warning about the void and the knowledge of the barrier's purpose, or we can continue our original mission with the custodian's blessing, knowing the danger that lies beyond. A heavy silence fell over the room as each person contemplated the implications. Humanity had sent the horizon to find new homes, new resources, new beginnings. But they had instead discovered an ancient war against cosmic entropy itself. There's a third option, Dr. Williams said suddenly. The custodians showed us that the barrier is failing in multiple sectors. What if we offered to help strengthen it? Our resonant shield technology, combined with their knowledge, might create a more stable solution. You mean collaborate with them? Zhang asked. Exactly. Williams nodded. We have something they need, a fresh perspective, new approaches to the physics involved. And they have something we desperately need, advanced technology and access to resources beyond our galaxy. Ileana considered this. NAVI, based on your enhanced understanding, is Dr. Williams' proposal viable? Theoretically, yes, the AI replied. The principles behind our shield technology are compatible with the barrier matrix. With modifications, we could potentially create reinforcement nodes at strategic points along the weakened sectors. But that would require multiple ships, far more than just the horizon. Okafor pointed out. True, Ileana agreed. We'd need to return to Earth, share what we've learned, and mount a larger expedition. She stood, decision made. Before we do anything, I want to speak with the custodian again. Let's make sure we fully understand what we're getting into. Hours later, the entity of light once again manifested on the bridge of the horizon. This time, it had adopted a more humanoid appearance, still composed of swirling energy, but with recognizable features that shifted between different human ethnicities, as if attempting to find a form that would put the crew at ease. You have questions, Captain Reyes, the custodian stated. We do, Ileana confirmed. You've shown us the threat of the void and explained the purpose of the barrier. What exactly do you want from humanity? Partnership, the entity replied simply. For millions of years, we have maintained the barrier alone. We were once many, now we are few. The task grows beyond our capabilities. And what would this partnership entail? Your species has developed technology that approaches barrier physics from a novel direction. Your resonant shields operate on principles we had not considered. Combined with our methods, they could strengthen the weakened sectors. Dr. Williams stepped forward. You're talking about technological exchange. Yes, we offer knowledge, you offer innovation. Together, we ensure the continued containment of the void. Ileana crossed her arms. And what happens to our plans for expansion? Humanity needs new worlds, new resources. The galaxies within the safe zone remain open to you, the custodian explained. Thousands of star systems free from the void's influence. But expansion must be careful, controlled, and with awareness of the greater threat. Ileana exchanged looks with her officers. We would need to return to Earth, explain all this to our government. This decision affects all of humanity, not just the crew of one ship. We understand, but be warned, the knowledge you carry will change your civilization forever. Some will deny the threat. Others will seek to exploit our technology for purposes beyond protection. That's the nature of humanity, Ileana acknowledged. We contain multitudes, some selfish, some noble, but when faced with existential threats, we've always found a way to unite. The entity seemed to consider this. Your confidence is noted. We have observed your species from afar, your wars, your art, your resilience. You destroy, but you also create with remarkable ingenuity. Then you know we're worth taking a chance on, Ileana said. Allow us to return home, share what we've learned, and return with a proper expedition, ships equipped to help strengthen the barrier and scientists ready to learn from you. The custodian's form shifted, expanding slightly. There is risk in this approach. The barrier weakens daily. Time is not abundant. NAVI's avatar appeared beside Ileana. If I may, Captain. The custodians have shared sufficient data that I could begin preliminary modeling of reinforcement protocols during our return journey. This would expedite the process once a full expedition returns. The entity seemed to focus on the AI. Your computational entity shows remarkable adaptability. Yes, this approach has merit. After further discussion, a plan was formulated. The Horizon would return to Earth carrying data crystals containing the custodian's knowledge of barrier physics. NAVI would work with Dr. Williams during the journey to develop preliminary designs for barrier reinforcement nodes based on human technology, enhanced by custodian principles. As they prepared for the return journey, Ileana stood alone in her quarters, staring at the stars visible through her viewport. The weight of their discovery pressed upon her shoulders. They had left Earth seeking new frontiers and had instead found an ancient battle against cosmic entropy, a responsibility that would forever change humanity's path among the stars. A soft chime announced a visitor. "Enter," she called, turning to see Dr. Williams. "Captain, I've been reviewing the data from the custodians," Williams said without preamble. "There's something remarkable I discovered. The void. It's not just destroying matter and energy. It's transforming it into something else entirely. Something dangerous. Not necessarily. Different. The custodians fear it because it's incomprehensible to them, a violation of their understanding of physics. But our models suggest it might be creating a different type of universe altogether, one with its own physical laws." Ileana frowned. "Are you suggesting the void isn't a threat?" "No, it absolutely is a threat to our universe. But what if it's also a creator, destroying one reality to birth another?" The custodians never considered this because their perspective is limited by their experience. "And you think this perspective might help us develop a better solution?" Williams nodded eagerly. "The custodians have been containing the void, fighting against it. What if there's another approach? What if we could channel it, direct it away from inhabited space toward regions where it might expand without threatening existing life?" Ileana considered this, the implications staggering. "You're suggesting we don't just help maintain the barrier, but potentially improve on a 50-million-year-old solution?" "Exactly. That's the value we bring. Not just our technology, but our perspective, our willingness to see problems differently." As the Horizon began its journey back through the carefully maintained passage in the Veil, Ileana Rice watched the swirling energies on the view screen. Humanity had reached the edge of their galaxy seeking new homes, and had instead found a cosmic responsibility and an ancient partnership. They would return to Earth not as conquering explorers, but as messengers carrying both a warning and an opportunity, the chance for humanity to take its place among the guardians of the cosmos, protecting life itself from forces beyond comprehension. And perhaps, in their uniquely human way, they would find solutions that had eluded even the ancient custodians for millions of years. For while humanity was young compared to the entities they had encountered, they possessed something the custodians had lost over their long existence: the ability to see possibility where others saw only threat, to imagine alternatives where others saw only necessities. As the Horizon slipped back into familiar space, NAVI's enhanced systems already beginning the complex calculations that would one day strengthen the barrier between galaxies, Ileana touched the silver pendant at her neck and thought of her father. He had sought to cross the veil and failed. She had succeeded, but discovered that the true journey was just beginning. "Set course for Earth," she ordered. "We have one hell of a story to tell."